I am Cain, and I am ready to reveal my shocking truth. I was born into a world that had never known death, a world where life was pure, untouched, and untainted. Well, almost pure. Some could argue that my parents' sin had already tainted the world. I was the firstborn of Adam and Eve, the first child of humanity. Yes, my name is Cain, a name that carries the weight of history, the burden of guilt, and the stain of blood. My story is filled with mysteries and secrets, secrets that I will reveal to you now. From the moment I took my first breath, the expectations were high. My parents spoke often of the paradise they had lost, a garden filled with unimaginable beauty and eternal peace. They would tell me and my younger brother Abel of the serpent that deceived them and the curse that followed. I grew up in the shadow of their regret, their longing for what was gone. Perhaps that shadow shaped me more than I realized. Abel and I were different in almost every way. Abel was gentle and kind. He favored the quieter pursuits of life. He tended the flocks, pouring his heart into the care of the sheep. I, on the other hand, was drawn to the soil. I tilled the land, planting seeds and watching them grow, coaxing life from the earth with my hands. My labor was hard, but it was rewarding. I took pride in the fruits of my work. We both sought to honor the Creator, the God our parents spoke of with both reverence and fear. Abel brought the firstborn of his flock as an offering, their fat portions laid upon the altar with reverence. I brought the best of my harvest, the fruits and grains I had labored over. Yet, when the smoke of our sacrifices rose to the heavens, God looked with favor upon Abel and his offering. Mine, he disregarded. It was a sting I could not ignore. My chest burned with indignation, my heart heavy with the weight of rejection. Was my toil not as valuable as Abel's? Was the sweat of my brow and the blisters on my hands less pleasing to God than the bleating of sheep? The questions consumed me, and with them a bitterness took root in my soul. God spoke to me then, his voice a whisper and a thunder all at once. Why are you angry, Cain? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it. His words should have been a balm to my wounded pride, a warning to guide me back to the light. But I did not heed them. The anger within me festered, growing into something darker, something I could not control. Sin did not crouch at my door, it consumed me entirely. One day I called Abel to the field. The morning sun cast long shadows as we walked together. My voice was calm, my demeanor steady, but inside a storm raged. We reached a secluded place, far from the watchful eyes of our parents. It was there that I turned on him. My hands, which had so often nurtured life, now became instruments of death. The act was swift, brutal, and irreversible. The ground, which had once yielded its bounty to me, now drank my brother's blood. The silence that followed was deafening. I stood over Abel's lifeless body, the reality of what I had done crashing down upon me. Then came the voice of God, piercing and unrelenting. Where is your brother Abel? I dared to lie, to deflect. I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? But God knew. He always knew. What have you done? Listen, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. Now you are under a curse and driven from the ground, which opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you work the ground, it will no longer yield its crops for you. You will be a restless wanderer on the earth. The weight of his judgment was unbearable. I cried out, my punishment is more than I can bear. Today you are driving me from the land, and I will be hidden from your presence. I will be a restless wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me. But even in his wrath, God showed mercy. He placed a mark upon me, a sign that no one would take vengeance upon me. With that mark I was sent away, exiled from my family, from my home, from the presence of God. I wandered the earth, carrying the weight of my crime and the memory of my brother. I settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden, and there I began anew. Nod was a desolate place, barren and harsh. It mirrored the emptiness within me. Yet life found a way to persist, even in such a forsaken land. It was there in Nod that I began my family with my wife, Awan. She was like a vision, a spark of life in the wilderness. She was from my family, another child of Adam and Eve. Our parents had many children, though their stories faded into the background of the great tragedy that defined my life. Awan and I found each other in our shared exile, both seeking connection and solace in the shadow of our lineage. Our union was not marked by grand ceremonies or divine blessings. It was simple, born of necessity, and a shared desire to build something new amidst the ruins of my past. We came together under the stars, our vows spoken not with words but with the silent promise of survival and partnership. We married in the eyes of God and the earth that bore witness to our struggles. Together we began to build a life. I, who had tilled the soil, used my hands to construct shelter. Awan brought a gentleness and resilience that softened the harshness of our existence. In time, our family grew. We had children, though the number is lost to history. Their names, Enoch and others, became the foundation of generations to come. Enoch, my firstborn, was a symbol of hope, and I built a city in his name, a testament to the possibility of redemption and creation even in the wake of destruction. Yet the mark upon me was a constant reminder of my crime. The blood of Abel haunted my dreams, and the curse upon the ground made every harvest a battle. My children knew of my past, of the stain upon our family's name. I taught them to labor, to survive, to carry the weight of our shared legacy with dignity. My story after Nod was one of survival and quiet redemption. Though I could never erase what I had done, I sought to build a future for my descendants, to teach them the lessons I had learned too late. I lived with the knowledge that my name would forever be a warning, my life a cautionary tale. And yet, in the land of Nod, amidst the struggles and the scars, I found moments of peace, glimmers of hope, and the faint whisper of God's enduring mercy.